And where you're in another country, like in Japan or whatever, how do you do to feel like a normal human being?
Good question. There are many strategies, many strategies. But lately, I've been, composing a lot of music on my computer. That's stable. I set it up in whatever hotel room I'm in. There it is.
And now, talking about the past, when you just start with the band, I know that most of you, or all of you, knew you when you were in college, right? And a lot of people, and a lot of new generation, I don't know, people of 15, 13, could think like, oh, I wanna have a rock band. I don't want to study, but it's important to mix it, right? What do you think about it? Like to mix your career with your music?
No, I don't.
No.
No, I think it's really to each his own. I think, I hated college, but it was important.
Yeah.
To get, I believed it was important for me to get a, degree. But as far as juggling, like I realized after college, I had like a pretty serious job and I was in a band, and I realized that my brain was being too taxed by work. That I was getting too fatigued mentally, because I had a serious job and I take pride in whatever it is that I'm doing. So I worked hard. I was pretty shitty. I was bad at my job, but I did work hard. And that was leaving me kind of tired and depleted, I think, as far as my imagination and my ability to go to a rehearsal and like write with the band. So I made a commitment where I embraced the idea of permanent poverty and obscurity, but that I would dedicate all of my energy to music and art and just give the tiniest amount of myself to this other job. So I just started taking horrible work for like 2 years. I had just horrible jobs and walked away from like this other career because I knew I could never be passionate about the other career.
Yeah, of
like
course.
The only thing that would make me fulfilled is making art and expressing myself in a way that it's got to be me. Like what bugged me about jobs is the idea that it could be somebody else.
Yeah.
That really repulsed me. So I can't speak for anybody else. I wouldn't recommend not getting a degree, and I wouldn't recommend like taking really horrible jobs. But at the same time, if music or art is going to be, if you believe that it's your calling, then it does justify making a lot of sacrifices if you really believe in it. And, my belief was that I wouldn't, deserve to succeed if I wasn't willing to give everything, and like risk being poor and living, as an elevator operator, like Bukowski, in the post, like Bukowski worked in the post office, and I think he was an elevator operator.
And it makes you like value more what you have right now, all that kind of jobs.
Sure. I mean, as it worked out, a lot of bands really have to pay their dues for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't really, it was only 2 years after
okay.
I kind of started taking bad jobs that our career really kind of started taking off. Maybe less than that, but I mean, I was willing to make that, a permanent thing. And it's just like I don't want to communicate the wrong message to people, because like education is like amazingly important, but following your heart is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So, and people are gonna,
try to make a balance, right?
But that's the thing, then you're kind of halving it. And so like I had a balance. I had
Yeah.
a career and I was in a band.
Yeah.
And I realized I couldn't have both, because one of them was not going to be everything that it should be. So I said no to a career and yes to the band. Cool. Which was risky. But it did work out. So I don't know what to recommend to somebody else, but I do think that you have to like, you can't be, can I swear? Can you?
Yeah, of course.
Like my kind of, I think, mantra to any aspiring artist is don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
Because if you kind of are saying like, well, and I need a backup plan and things like that, it's like that's not really how it works. Like you're either consumed with your passion or you're not, and don't be a pussy.
Oh yeah, you need to believe in what you do. I mean, it's really important. And then you released the Fuck ID #3 song. What could be the most important thing that you learned doing that helped you later with your music career?
With the Fucked ID?
Yeah.
That didn't really have any effect on our career, actually.
No, but the thing that you learned.
We didn't really learn that much. I mean,
Really?
we recorded some songs and they were used for our demo. This was when this is a testament to how old of a band we actually really are. We actually had an audio tape as a demo.
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
bands today don't even have CDs anymore. They just put their music on MySpace. I mean, so that just gives you an idea of where we come from. But that's what those songs were being used for. And then Chemical Underground just wanted to do a limited edition release of those songs. You know, and we quickly kind of grew past that record, and it didn't really. It got one really shitty review in The Enemy, and that was about it.
and now you signed with a major label company that a lot of people can say like a controversy that I really don't believe, because I really believe in music. That is the most important thing, even if you're in an independence label or in a big label. But what could be the best and the hard thing of being in a major label company?
There's little difference for a band like us, other than perhaps the fact that there are more names to remember and thus more names to forget, actually, because it's really embarrassing too. And there's always people that are. It's just a much larger operation, but we still do the same amount of interviews than we did before. It seems like we're in the same publications, and it seems like we're selling the same amount of records. It just means that, you know, there's a sort of greater consciousness of the band now, I think, because especially, and in radio, obviously, there's a massive, massive difference between a major record label and an independent record label, and those are the reasons why we switched, is for those very specific details. It wasn't for a completely redefinition of the group. So anyone that, you know, has any kind of real question about the independent versus major, it's not really a question.
It's like infrastructure, like change, but the music's still the same.
There's no difference.
Yeah.
There's for all express purposes, just pretend that we're still on Matador.
and talking about, I know that you've been in touch with the Latin American community for so many reasons. What could be the most important thing that you admire about Latin culture?
Huh.
My mother. She is the most important.
Yeah, well, dude, that's a really valid answer, dude. I mean, what about you, Paul?
I don't know. I love, you know, I lived in Mexico and I loved the culture there and I love the people there. I mean, I really, really loved the time that I spent living there. And just even being in a place like Miami, I was commenting to someone that I think it's the kind of the Latin blood that is in the atmosphere of this city that gives it its warmth. And part of the reason why I like being in Miami versus LA, you know, for instance, where there's, it's a lot about vanity and beauty here as it is in LA. And LA has, you know, a huge Latin presence as well, but there's something here that makes it just like very hospitable, and there's just like that kind of warm-heartedness and warm-bloodedness to the atmosphere in Miami that comes from, you know, Latin America. That's why you have that feeling here. So I mean, it's like a very, you know, the people are very warm. I don't know if that's really answering the question.
Yeah, but last time you were in Mexico, it was really crazy. Did you get surprised with the reaction of all the crowd?
Yeah, I did actually. I think it kind of, not that it makes sense, but I get this feeling that kids there they love rock music, and you know, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But I couldn't have anticipated that level of enthusiasm for us. Definitely not. So it was a great. I mean, I think that'll always be a favorite moment for us, and in the future, I think a territory that we really look forward to going back to.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time in this interview. It's an honor to talk with you. Congratulations because of your album. It's a great, the art cover is like amazing. I describe it like an artistic Animal Planet picture. It's like, I really like it. I really like it.
Thank you.
And what's the name of your dog?
Gaius.
Gaius. Thanks, man. Ok, pues bueno, a toda la banda, Interpol, estén pendientes porque próximamente va a estar de visita en el Distrito Federal y por ahí consigan el Our Love to Admire, gran material discográfico. Vamos a continuar con más. No le cambie, estás aquí en Telehit.